Hi everyone, happy Women's History Month. We are glad today to have with us the director of the career communities at Suffolk University Center for Career Equity Development and Success, Sarah Burrows. We are so glad to have her with us today. My name is Adeleke Yowa. I'm a grad fellow at the Career Center, and it feels like I'm talking to like someone I see every day. So it's going to be more like a very friendly chat. So I want you to just stay tuned and like enjoy the chat we have today. So I'm going to be passing it over to Sarah now. So please, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. It's great to be here and it's nice to see you, Adeleke. And I always enjoy seeing you in the center. You always have a big smile, no matter how cold the weather, you have a big warm smile. So I
Thank
always
you.
appreciate seeing you, and I'm really hoping you get the best success that you can out of this degree program. So that's wonderful. So I've been working in higher ed for over 2 decades, and I've been at 4 different institutions. Prior to that, I worked in the communications industry, in local cable programming and advertising, and a large nonprofit in Boston. In all the roles in my career, I've utilized similar strengths, and sometimes I feel like I jumped from place to place a fair amount, although it's been a long career. But the skills that I've used have always involved developing people, matching individuals with opportunities, and creating models, programs, curriculum, or best practices for the institution that I've worked at.
Thank you so much for sharing, Sarah. So what does the Women History Month mean to you, and how do you think we can continue to uplift women in the career space?
That's a great question. I think some women and men forget that not that long ago, women in this country did not have the right to vote. So it's not that far into our history that women were not allowed to vote, and did not have reproductive rights, and did not have access to certain industries or roles, and continue to be a small percentage of women in top leadership roles across sectors. The lack of these rights is more pronounced in women from underrepresented populations, and certainly women in many other countries with different cultural, religious, and social customs. Sadly, many of the rights that have been earned in the US are being challenged or curtailed entirely at this time in history, and it puts the safety and freedom of women at risk. In career education, I believe we must continue to guide, to educate, and empower young women not to accept the status quo, whatever that might be, at the institution, in their state, in their country, but try to go beyond the confines of the past and beyond the confines that are currently in current day being imposed upon women and many other populations.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing. This is very profound and very important. Yeah. So you mentioned or you took us through a journey of your career path like up until now. So I'm just curious to know, can you share a bit about your journey into career education and what inspired you to pursue this field?
Great. Yes, it has been a journey. That's a good word
Yeah.
for it. I did not know when I was graduating from college that I'd be doing what I've done with my career, but it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm very privileged to have been working with students of all kinds, graduate and undergraduate students for many, many years. And I was reminded recently that I told a friend in high school, and high school was quite a few years ago for me, that she must practice over and over to achieve a skill. And she wrote me directly through email. You may not remember, as I do, a jeweler's blowtorch and a tennis racket that you gently encouraged me to pick up again with the words, "You can't expect to be good at everything right away. I try things again because of you." It was a very moving email for me to receive from somebody I knew so many years ago as a teenager. And this was perhaps the precursor to teaching, guiding, coaching, and mentoring younger people, both men and women. I did not actually pursue the path I landed on, but saw an opportunity when it presented itself and took a gamble to try new roles, to put myself out there, to try new things, to learn new things, to learn new skills, earn advanced degrees at different points in my life. And out of curiosity, go for interesting jobs, Being interested in your work and feeling a commitment to work is very important to me. And I was lucky to have parents who were very committed to the work they did in the world. And I think I just grew up kind of knowing that I needed to make a difference in my time on the planet and not just kind of go along to get along if I was able to. So I've had that privilege of my parents' influence on me from a long time ago.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you. This is my second year working as a grad fellow at the Career Center, and I know a whole lot of activities, a whole lot of events being organized like week by week. And you know, I'm just like as the director for career communities, overseeing like 9 career communities that help students find meaningful career paths. Like, what's the motivation that you've developed to maintain this approach, and how has it impacted like students generally?
Right. The job posting at Suffolk excited me right away. I was employed full-time at another institution, but the job description I could not turn away from. I had to at least explore it. Creating the career communities model, operationalizing it, and overseeing the 9 full-time staff to execute the various components of each role seemed to be a perfect match for my experience, my skills, and my passion. I believe the model enables students to find a smaller community in which to peer with peers, share goals, aptitudes, and interests, and to interact with employers and alumni in a variety of ways. I think the menu of services, the menu of types of events that we run and programs that we run is very important because not everything works for every person. Everyone has to make a choice that I want to meet with an employer on these terms or those terms. The student needs to feel comfortable and empowered to have the kind of conversations that will lead to more meaningful dialogue with an employer or an alum, as you've talked about in your own experience. So really from niche career fairs to ramp and job shadowing to industry-focused career advising, the career community model helps students build confidence, identify their career direction, and develop effective application materials, interview skills, and really the ability to articulate their strengths and what they can bring to the job. And I think that's very important. The articulation and communication component of career readiness is something that you continue to evolve and continue to work on, but I think it's very critical to being able to find success.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, just to take you a little back memory lane. So in your years in career education, have you seen a shift in how women are represented in different industries?
Well, I'd say yes and no. I think that there are definitely more women engineers, accountants, CEOs, doctors, and lawyers. But I think the percent of women rising to the top of those careers continues to lag behind men quite significantly. There remains a very real pay gap between gender identities, and opportunity for promotion remains a much steeper climb for women. So while I think we as women have made much progress, I think society has enabled that progress. I think there is still a long way to go in terms of true equity among genders.
Very, very, very true equity among gender is very, very important. So what advice would you give a young woman aspiring for leadership role in their career?
Well, it's really about identifying in my perspective, identify women you want to emulate, find mentors, take yourself seriously. I think often women are not raised to take themselves seriously. They're raised to stand in the background, to support others in their life, whether it be their partners, their husbands, their children, their parents. Women are often put into caretaking roles in their worlds. And so I think it's very important to find someone you admire and find a way to learn from them. And it may turn into mentoring or not. I found informal mentoring in my peers and supervisors in almost every job I've held. And that support system has helped me meet challenges throughout my life and my career.
Thank you so much. My next question is about mentorship, but you've already like spoken about mentorship, like how students, it's quite challenging reaching out to people, reaching out to alumni, reaching out to employers. Okay, I want you to be my mentor. It's quite like a very daunting task. How do I reach out to
Mm.
this person? But mentors play a very huge role in our life, and we learn from their mistakes, we learn from their successes, we learn from the paths they've taken, and it makes work, or it makes our own path much more easier to take. So I will just like move to the next question. So just pretty much talking about women in leadership and the challenges they face having to balance work and personal life. So how have you managed this, and what advice would you give to others, like other young aspiring women leaders in different industries?
Well, I think while it is difficult to ask somebody to be a mentor, I think that if you bring value to that relationship, you have things to share with them, that you're not asking for something, you're also giving something. I think every relationship needs to have a give and take, and whether that's just a one-time interaction, you need to, again, be thinking of what the other person needs as well as what you're looking for and what you need. Having a give and take, having a relationship is important. So again, I think to, take yourself seriously, I'll pick up on that again. Continue to develop your knowledge and your skills throughout your life. Don't settle. I've gotten the degree. I'm okay now. Keep learning, keep reading, keep, developing skills. And don't step on others to get ahead. I think sometimes, unfortunately, people feel like they have to be better than the next person sitting next to them to get ahead. And I don't think that's the case. I think to build each other up, to bring others with you is very important. And I think it builds stronger leadership in yourself if you help others and you want to promote others ahead of yourself. I think that that is a very genuine way for you to get ahead yourself because it's recognized, it's seen often. Um, I think working smarter, not harder, utilizing emotional intelligence in almost every situation when you can, get yourself organized, and don't sweat the small stuff. Learn from mistakes and don't dwell on things that do not fall your way. Move on, move on to the next challenge and don't worry about what's already happened. You can't change the past, you can only change the future. So focus on the future and what you can do to do better, do more, be more effective. That's all you can change is the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, so can you name one highlight of your career that you deemed successful and how it shaped your career trajectory?
Sure. If I have to name one highlight, because there have been a few highlights over the decades I've been working, it would be the decision to pursue a master's degree in communications management. The journey brought me into my first role in higher education and demonstrated to myself that I could manage a family and a profession, and gave me the confidence that I actually was an effective learner and I was effective at developing other people. So that was really, I think, the pivotal moment when I started feeling my real grounding under me.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. So like the last question I'll ask for this interview series is so looking back at your career so far, what impact or legacy do you hope to leave in the field of career education?
Well, I truly hope that the students I have taught, the colleagues I have worked alongside, the people I have managed will remember the shared time and space we had to be a time of learning, growing, exciting, and fun experience that impacted them positively, encouraged them to do their best, and impact change in their own worlds.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I just needed to chip in that last question. It was a very important question. Thank you for your time. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule, managing like 9 career communities, and you created time to have this chat with us. We're very grateful, and I believe that everyone that would see this video would benefit from the wealth of knowledge you've shared today. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah,
Absolutely. Well, it was my
yeah.
pleasure, Adelecki, and I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much. Yes.